walk in circles, hoping that one day we'll fit into.
Welcome back, and Jodie, if you'd like to continue telling us about that perspective that you were talking about.
Sorry, I was getting quite excited. So to say Asmodeus, because I do when I talk about this, it has longevity. So the premise is that they play a game. So 52 weeks of the year, 52 cards in a pack of cards. They come, they play this dangerous game. When they're playing it, 48 of the cards are monetary value, but 4 of the cards are favours, which can go from political espionage to drug smuggling to organ trafficking. So it gets quite dark. But the game can be in any country, anywhere in the world. So it has got so much scope.
How did you come up with
series? Well, yeah, it's got so much scope for like repeat series. So already I would know, I have an idea of where series 2 would go.
Wow. Well, if you need a Spanish character, yo hablo mucho español.
There we go. There we go. You know I love working with you. I've worked with you many a time before, and do you know what? If we did, I think it was Taking It Lying Down, which was
oh my god, that was so.
If I could have got cast with you, then that would have been great. But so Alex was aware, so we both we went to school together. Lee won. He mentioned it earlier, but he won the Drama King Award.
Yeah. I don't think that was the title, but I'll take it.
I don't think it was actual King and Queen, but we got to give it.
Yeah.
It went in our record of achievement, but
and
then we worked together.
It was fantastic as well, because at such a young age to find someone that feels the same way about the industry, it's kind of a I don't know, it's like a validation, if you like. You know, the way you felt about acting and I felt about acting, we were so young to feel that way. It was really, really nice and lucky to be able to meet someone. I think that's why we've remained friends for a long time. And we have, I think we have quite a good chemistry generally when we work together on a music video also, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. We did. I showed Alex. The music video that we did together. So
bit younger than us.
Yeah, that's it. We did this kind of, well, I can't believe I'm going here, but we did this romantic kiss at the end.
That was kind of awkward. Not because kissing Jodie is awkward. It was just because we're such good friends.
It didn't seem awkward to me, so.
Well, that's acting for you. No, there's not much acting with Jodie in that scene, to be honest.
No, it was good. I enjoyed filming it with you.
Well, the second series as well sounds really interesting. It seems like you could perhaps even film on location. I mean, that's what I was going to ask you as well about.
You want to get out to Madrid, don't you?
Well, I wouldn't mind. You're more than welcome in Madrid. We've got a spare bedroom.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm all in. Well, how many locations did you use for this series? Was it just you mentioned earlier the house?
It was all local locations. I mean, the first location was quite a coup, really. It was a really lovely wedding venue, but it was a fairly large manor house.
Oh wow!
And it suited. It was for Madeline's house, so we wanted something that was suitably impressive, but not ridiculously over the top. But it sat really comfortably. It had a big statement to it. So and the interiors were gorgeous as well. So we hired that for the day.
Well, and did you have a big team? sorry to interrupt, Jodie, did you have a big team that went there to the location?
Well, no, really small team. I mean, honestly, I can count it on probably my two hands. You know, we had a camera guy who was also DOP who I knew, and a gaffer to set the lights up. I knew that would be really important because we had to move really fast. We had a lot of shots to get in, so we needed almost a dream team of DOP and gaffer that could set stuff up really quickly. Otherwise, we just wouldn't have made the day.
Yeah.
And those, I knew those guys would nail it. So I really wanted to have them on board, and I'd worked with them loads of times before. And then we had a sound guy.
Quite intimate, really.
I normally work in sound, so my sound assistant is recording sound for us. So I know him anyway. We go back years. Right. And he's a great guy. We had, and then we had a few people kind of running back and forth. Obviously, we had Clapper Loader.
Tracy Cannon, makeup artist.
A great makeup artist, yeah. We had food delivered on that day, which was really nice. So,
can we do product placement? Can we say? What was it? Where was the food from?
Oh, that was from a delightful place called Truffle and Thyme. So they do this fantastic spread, which everybody, I think, really enjoyed.
But it was hilarious, wasn't it, Alex? Because there's all this lovely food there, and Alex, love him. He was like, I want to make sure everybody has like really nice food, and that everybody's really looked after. Everybody's having breakfast, lunch, dinner. I want to have nice food. It's like, yeah, that's fine. Very much. I found this pack of wine gums, and I was like, I'm so happy. And I was like,
are you serious? Do you like wine gums?
Yeah, I love wine gums.
They are my favorite sweets. You can't get them in Madrid. It's one of the things I miss so much about England.
I can't believe that. Wine gums. I'll send you
Must be a Swindon thing, like, maybe.
Yeah, I think it maybe is a Swindon thing. So I was like, Alex, I was like, oh, that really good. Oh, thank you. I was like, the wine gums.
These are the stories that you don't get during the trailer of this amazing series, which I should get back to as well once Jodie's finished delighting us with this story of the wine gums. I don't know if you have anything else to add about the food.
I like to keep it real.
I think what Jodie's just said gives you an idea of how much fun we're having doing this.
It comes across that way
in the final
which edit. It's actually really unique because I mean it's quite a serious storyline, right? It's a drama, the series.
Yeah, it's very much a crime drama, kind of. I'd say glamorous drama. Should we say glamorous drama?
Yeah. I think that that's the thing. That's the dynamic. There's an element of glamour in it, but beneath the glamour is the grit and the dirt of this underground crime scene, as Jodie said, dealing in organ trafficking, people trafficking, drugs, arms, really the kind of underworld.
How, in terms of you said that you were a sound guy, Alex, and so how does the grit come across in terms of the soundtrack or the music that you've chosen?
That's interesting because the last shoot we actually played some music on set to kind of set the mood. Right. So one of the scenes was where Emily has a kind of breakdown. So it all gets a bit too much. So we set this kind of almost swore then. This kind of screwy kind of thing with mirrors and what have you, which is quite complicated to film. But we were filming Jodie through multiple mirrors, and we wanted to kind of set this mood up. So we played a kind of mixture of stuff. Jodie came up. She said, what do you think about Labyrinth? It's a great film. I really like Labyrinth. And so we played some music from Labyrinth, which is fantastic. It's so
David Bowie.
And there's one of the songs was When the World Falls Down. And when I hear music, my mind goes to a kind of a different place. So much so that I'm open to all kinds of suggestion. That's how powerful music is, really, especially when you're really into it. And when I heard this World Falls Down, I mean, I don't know. I went to that place, you know, and it's really nice. You know, it doesn't happen very often in life. But I just had this kind of moment, and you know, I just completely lost. And so we played that on set, you know, and that really worked because it got everybody, and also the crew as well. You know, everybody was in the right frame of mind, but especially Jodie, so she could feel, couldn't you? You could feel kind of in that mode of maybe a little bit confused or having a breakdown. And then we also played some Suede tracks as well, and you know, early 90s Suede, you know, it's kind of about drugs and losing yourself, and you know, having a downer and an upper and all those kind of things.
So lyrically, so you were looking for something as well lyrically that kind of reflected the storyline or the moment, the scene?
Well, I think both, to be honest. I mean, really, mostly it was the music. But you know, to me, the music, the lyrics are really important as well. So you know, I love what a song has to say.
As a songwriter, to me, they're also
it's pretty powerful stuff, and you can say stuff in a song where you can't say normally. That's what makes music so powerful. I can write something that I would never normally say, but it seems okay in music, you know, so that you can get those kind of hidden things out, you know. So the music was really important on set, I think, and I'm going to do it again. I really want to do it again. I've never done that before.
It's really interesting what you said there, Alex, about how everyone sort of seemed to have suspended disbelief in that moment that you played the music for Jodie acting in that scene. And that, I think, for an actor is nirvana. When you get to the point where you've taken on that character and you are absolutely 100% living that fictional life, that is nirvana. That's like, yeah, okay, I've this is the objective. I've completed the objective. I am now this character, and I've forgotten that I've got to, you know, make the bed when I get home. Otherwise, I'm gonna get in the neck.
Like, you know how earlier we were talking about being in the moment. The music did help you to completely be in the moment, and all there was the mirrors and Alex. And I mean, you've got to think this poor girl, when we see her, she's been following her ex-boyfriend, stalking him, really. That's how she got into this cult-like game. She stalked him for 4 years. She's not really in the best place. And so this game offers her so much, and it builds her up. All of a sudden, she's got money, she's got friends, she's got a life that she never had. And when I sat there and the mirrors were around me and the music came in, which was, you know, like you say, it was kind of like almost out of this world, out of your body kind of experience. Yeah, you absolutely lived and breathed it in that second, and you were completely in it, and it came across, well, I hope it came across, I really hope it did, as just really effortless and really natural, and that was exactly what she was supposed to be feeling, and that all that came across.
Is that the series finale, or is that a particular episode that we can look forward to without giving any spoilers?
No, this is part of the pilots we're making. So it does occur towards the finale of the pilot. So it does kind of explode into a kind of maelstrom of mental breakdown, I suppose. Due to the circumstances of I suppose, partly of Emily's history and of her experience with the gang, because you can imagine how harrowing it becomes being in the gang.
I mean, it's something that it's happening more and more as well in England.
Well, I mean, it does have a lot of crossovers to organised
county lines and things like that,
and county lines, so there's a lot of similarities there, which causes dreadful problems in society. and so this is, you know, part of this is an echo of that.
So would you say that you had, going into it, specific themes that you wanted to touch upon? For instance, of this, I mean, it's more of a political, that is, you could say it's a political theme, bringing up the, I mean, is it influenced the gang lifestyle? Would you say it's influenced by class? Is it specifically an English thing?
Yeah, so I'll just start from, so I was inspired to write it because back kind of 2018, my social media feeds were just filling up with friends of mine who were selling things like coffee or weight loss. Yeah, you've obviously seen it. You just smiled, so you've obviously seen it. I like weight loss stuff and everything like that. And it was like multi-level marketing, but it had a real like cultish feel to it, because I had some people like who were my friends were like putting out updates saying things like, oh, if you can't support my small business, then I'd rather you don't, you know, follow me, or I'm not talking.
So they were taking it personally.
Yeah, like I'm not talking to my family right now because they won't buy from me. They're not like, you know. And I thought, wow. And because it was such a, these multi-level marketing companies kind of like bought them in, and then it was a bit of a pyramid scheme.
Right.
That was where the idea kind of came from, because I thought, actually, if there was this group of people and they looked to recruit normal everyday people, and they looked for them to commit crimes, and they thought, actually, these people, they haven't been to prison, they haven't got like, you know, they're not known to the police, so you've got a normal everyday person, but they're now involved in smuggling drugs. They're not going to get picked up quite as much, or if they in one of the, I'm giving something away now, but in series 2, sorry, in series 2,
stop her, Alex, if you have to.
It's okay, it's okay. You go
in
for it,
series 2, one of the they retell a story of how they had to go to Belgium, and they came back, and the car, as soon as they kind of got there, there's something wrong with the car, we have to kind of do it, and it worked out. It transpired that they smuggled drugs into the country without knowing, and they'd won the weekend from Madeline in the game. And yeah, so all little kind of things like that they're then having to do. But county lines definitely influenced me. I think I read quite a lot of articles about organ trafficking, which does happen in the UK. Actually does happen. Yeah. I kind of looked at stuff on the black market and different things, and yeah,
sounds fascinating. And when you promote the movie, will you guys be sort of sending out any links towards, what's that? Sorry, the series. I keep saying movie because for me it feels like a movie. It feels like the typical sort of, you know, underground movie that could take off. That it's got such an original concept that it feels like it's got like a dark. I think I can see it being on the big screen, but maybe it will be. Maybe it'll be so successful, the first and second series, that you'll have to end it with a movie.
I mean, I will just jump in there, Lou. So we are making it to that level. You know, that's the production value. We have a small, really small budget, which I'm not going to disclose, but you know, so I wouldn't dare, because I am from a feature film background, right? So you know, having worked on a lot of sets before, so I've been in film, you know, pretty much all my career. So it was really important for me to make it as if we were going to put it on the big screen.
Right. So would you consider it as in every episode is like a movie? Is that the sort of approach that you've had? You know, I mean, Lost was probably the first big series where every episode was an event and it seemed like a new movie. Was that the sort of approach?
Well, I mean, it's a continuation. So, but
yeah, it's episodic.
It's episodical, yeah. But I mean, in terms of the production value, I mean, you know, TV these days has incredibly high production values. You know, you don't you no longer just put a load of big lights over people's heads in the studio. You know, there's a lot more kind of inventiveness going on now. There's a lot more location going on with TV, and all the associated production values with that. And so in order for us to, you know, compete, you know, we need to make it look really good. Despite our limited sort of palette of locations, but we have got a great crew, and I think we've got the vision as well. You know, this is the thing between Jodie and I. You know, we have this shared vision. Well, I mean, she shared her vision with me, and I got it, you know, straight away.
And you both shared it with me. You both shared it with me, and I've got it, and so are all of the people watching this interview as well.
Other people that I've spoken to get it as well, I think. So I'm, and you know, I think in terms of a writer and a director, Jodie and I are a really strong unit. So that gives me a lot of confidence to really put it out there and go for the production value, and put all our efforts in, as much effort as we can, to make it as good as we can. And then we've got something that we can, you know, we can both be really, really proud of. In fact, everybody can be proud of, you know, whether you're cast or crew. And then we can create that. We want to, you know, create that buzz around it. You know, is this something that started with an amazing script that is produced really well, and it has got some longevity as well. So
I absolutely, I can't wait to see it. And I mean, do you guys have a release date, or is there sort of an estimation?
No, not yet.
Not yet,
because we're still in the filming of the trailer part. But,
so what you have to do, if you're watching this interview right now, you have to go over to their Instagram page. As Jodie said earlier, you have now got an Instagram page, and there we will.
Today, so
there you go. So an exclusive right here at Connected Circles. And if you sign up, then I'm sure that you'll be the first to see the trailer. Do you have do Dreambased Studios have a YouTube channel where you can see other content from them? Or?
Oh, no, not at all. No, my YouTube channel is woefully out of date. I'm not the best, I have to say, at doing the kind of socials.
Well, you're gonna have to get used to it, because this is going to be a hit. So
well, you know what? Something occurred to me the other day. I thought, I've not been really bothering about my socials and stuff, but when you get a project like this, you suddenly start thinking, wait a minute, I do need to do something about this. And actually I'm actually motivated and minded to do that now.
Yeah,
so, whereas before
it's changing, isn't it? I mean, I have the problem in my band. We sometimes they think that you can write the best song. You might think it's the best song since Bohemian Rhapsody, and you're there and you're rehearsing for hours, and you've got it all down, you've got the new pedals and everything. And then they think that it's just going to magically become a #1. It's like, if you could write the best song in the world, but if you don't sell it, if you don't put yourself out there, nobody's going to hear it. Absolutely. And so social media nowadays is a very useful tool for us to get our art out there.
Yeah, I suppose I've realised it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? 'Cause me and Alex were talking about this today, because that's when we decided to set up the Instagram page, because Alex was like, actually, we've done all this really great work, and I get so excited about things, and I'm like, I'll shout it from the rooftop and I'll talk about it all day long. But I that's me as a character. That's who I am. I'm like, I get really passionate and kind of like, haha. And Alex, love him, but Alex is a little bit more quieter on social media. And like he said, he's gonna do more and promote himself a bit more.
Listen, this whole concept,
he should promote himself more.
Jodie, this whole concept came from what you saw on social media, so it's only right that you use social media to your advantage. Yeah, right. The news feed was full of people selling products, right? And that's where the concept came from, the seed, at least. Before I end, I know it's getting late, so you know, I would talk to you for days on end about this project, because it sounds so exciting. But there's a couple of things I wanted to ask before we conclude, and it was just, I want to go back quickly to what Alex said about the character being, I think it's Emily, that was unhinged, and also I always get to the point when you're creating a character, do you need to like your character? Jodie, do you need to like?
For me,
Yeah, do you need to like the person? Because I mean, they sound very unhinged, but so how can you have empathy? You know, be true.
So like for me, I wrote Emily. Emily has so much of me in her. It's really easy to play. She's quite introverted. She doesn't always get on with a large group of people. She has like a little want to be accepted, and and as the story progresses, you realize that actually Emily isn't just a walkover. She isn't as weak as she's kind of looked compared to Madeline. There's actually this really strong part to her underneath. But yeah, I can completely empathize with Emily. We looked at a little bit of a scene earlier, didn't we, Alex? And I said to him, he showed me a little bit of it, and I said to him, I love that, because she kind of puts her little head down and she's really sad because her love interest at this time has kind of like pretended that he doesn't know her. It's a really sad and emotional moment. And she puts her little head down, and me watching it, even though I know it was me doing, I kind of felt really sad for her, because I was like, that's just
so tragic.
Yeah, so sad. And and when you see her like tapping her little fingers on the steering wheel as she's waiting, and that's what she does every day. She sits there and waits.
So you can find the truth in her character.
Yeah, it's just,
I mean, it's a compromising
it's
a compromising question, and it actually brings me also a little bit to your influences, because we get this a lot when the bands do some interviews. People will ask us, who are your influences? And I don't feel like the influences are the same as necessarily your favorites. So my favorite actors might be Jack Nicholson, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Robert De Niro.
You're going to say Jack Nicholson. You always do.
I'm a big fan.
That's been the same forever with you, Jack Nicholson.
But then, I mean, if you talk about music, the sound is perhaps influences in. We're in a sort of indie pop, but is that the music I listen to? I like Motown music, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I create, Stevie Wonder. I'm creating more of an Oasis sound, I think. So I wonder if it's the same with you guys, like your influences in terms of how you make films, how you write, how you act. Are they a parallel with the people you like to watch?
For me, oh gosh, right. Meryl Streep is basically Madeline. Like that
really?
is, Devil Wears Prada.
Wow.
She that's who she is. And then so Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn together in the film Death Becomes Her, which was like huge when we were younger. Just love that film. And that kind of like, that's where the name Madeline comes from, because when she knocks at the door, she's like, Madeline, I need to talk to Madeline. And I just always loved that. And I was like, God, that Madeline's so strong. And she kind of like comes.
So you've taken something from someone that you admire.
It's from a long time ago. Yeah, it's like the labyrinth. Yeah. It's just in there at the back, and then it just kind of comes to the front, and you can't help but to be influenced by it. But people that I really like in the acting world, Carey Mulligan is amazing. And A Promising Young Woman, anybody who hasn't seen that, have you guys seen it?
I haven't. Oh no, I have, Is that the one? I think I have seen it. I think I saw it this year, actually. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but is it where she goes away on I think there's a stag do, and they're
that's right at the very end.
So I better not say too much. But that was a fascinating. That was a hell of a twist to that.
But what's really interesting about that is that encapsulates like that time. So I use the example of when I used to go out when I was like 17, 18, if somebody had have pinched my bum or something when we were out, that was kind of like acceptable. It's like, oh, it's fine. Like, if it happened today, I'd be like, oh,
well, that's true. It's quick how quickly we've changed as a society.
That film.
Not that it's ever been right.
No.
But it's been
it really
accepted,
gets that kind of early 90s, how like a woman was treated.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, you kind of dress in a certain way, or maybe you were kind of asking for it and all of this other stuff. And A Promising Woman just kind of completely got that. And it happens time and time again. It's just such a clever movie. I could talk about it for so long. But yeah, Carrie Mulligan in that is amazing. And the first time I came across her, I know she'd done other stuff before that, but was An Education. And it's a very much coming of age drama. And yeah, it's just really good. Yeah, and she's fantastic. And what I like about her is she just draws you in. And like I was saying earlier about like yeah, I think you have to know, or you have to like read all the books and know all the stuff about acting. Yeah. But just be in the moment.
You never feel like she's acting.
Be free, be impulsive, and then I can just watch you, and I don't feel like you're trying, and I feel safe because I'm like, oh, I'm really enjoying watching you.
Exactly. And then you get, I mean, then you have that moment where you brought in the music and you were in front of the mirrors. I mean, that's the moment where you suspend disbelief, and that's when you know they're not acting. You know, they're
it's like, I'm not trying to be like scared. I am actually scared. I'm like, you know, I'm not trying.
Sorry, Alex, what was you going to say?
Well, no, I was just going to, sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say, you know, from a director's point of view, when I'm looking at the monitor, again, you know, I want to be, I don't want to feel like people are acting. Like you know, you just said that you don't feel like they're acting, and that's the place I want to get to before we sign off on the scene.
Yeah, of course.
Because if I can't feel that, then you know the edit could be quite difficult. It'd be difficult for us to make a narrative. Okay, we could say, well, we can add some music and stuff, and that'll add to the emotion, which actually it does do in a lot of films. It hides. What I would say is slightly not acting without depth. You know, and then music can obviously help all that. I mean, the whole thing kind of intertwines together to make it an emotional narrative. But if I can get it so that I can really believe it when I'm just watching this monitor in the middle of a dark studio with cables everywhere and lights and it's all messy, you know, then if I can feel it then once we've added all the other stuff on top of it, it's going to be even better, isn't it? So I'm always I'm wanting to be moved in front of that monitor.
Definitely.
And if we can't, then you know we need to sort of make a few adjustments. Often it's really subtle stuff. It's just because, you know, a word has been perhaps said a little bit too loudly or something like that, and it takes you out of the moment. It's often really subtle. I mean,
sometimes it could be an accent if the actor's doing an accent.
I know I get so jumpy and so excited. It's just the way I'm wired. So I am sorry, but I just thought of a great example where that happened, Alex. You know, when we were filming at Matara, and I had the simplest thing to do. I had to walk from one place to another place. I had to walk up, and everything else had been fine, like no problems. And I had to walk from one place to another place. And this is what I mean about just feel it and just be in the moment and be free and be impulsive and just concentrate on what's happening now. I had got a text message saying that the other actors hadn't quite found the right way, and the BBC were actually filming at Matara on the same day as us, but they couldn't come in the house because we had the house. So they had turned up at the BBC bit. So I'd got this text message from the actors saying, we're here. And also they were using Soundstorm and the BBC were using Soundstorm. So they were like, well, we've seen the Soundstorm vans, we're here. And I was like, no. And I got out of my head into what am I doing, and kind of came out that. And as I walked out of the door, Alex was like, yeah, you I can't remember what I did, but he's like, just look over there and then kind of go round. And I don't know why, but I found it so hard to do because I wasn't
in the moment.
I was worrying about the actors trying to find their way here.
It's frustrating when that happens.
I think it was like the third take, wasn't it? He went, oh, amazing, you just did it fine, you just kind of walked where you needed to walk and looked at the right places at the right time. And I was like, I know why that is. It's because they got a text message from the actors saying that they'd kind of found the place by that point. So.
Well, don't worry, fans of Jodie and Alex. In the final cut, there will be no corpsing. I'm sure the editing won't take you out of the storyline. Unfortunately, I have to bring this interview to an end. It's been an absolutely amazing experience getting to know you, Alex, and to go down memory lane with an incredible actress like Jodie, and now a writer, which I'm so eager to see this project. It sounds so original. Like I said before, make sure you follow them on Instagram. I don't know if you guys want to take this moment to tell us, sort of in short, what is this series about, and when more or less could we see it, or how could we see it? Where can they follow you on social media, which we've spoken about a little bit today? And yeah, take it away, Alex or Jodie. If you
go for it, Jodie.
Okay, all right. Well, it's not like I've not talked enough already. Yeah, Asmodeus, glamorous drama that dives into an immoral world of an elite criminal gang. Shy, introverted woman follows her ex-boyfriend every day. She follows him into this new world, and it really is her journey in this world. And yeah, her moral compass is really pushed, but things aren't always as they seem.
Wow.
So yes, you can follow us at Asmodeus. I will spell it for you, Alex, if I get it wrong after what happened earlier.
I'm listening.
Asmodeus, right. Oh, hold on. I really don't want to go wrong. ASMO. Help us out, Alex. You spell it.
I have it here somewhere.
PEUS, Asmodeus _ series. Asmodeus _ series. Or you can also follow me or Alex's Dreambased Studios. Very easy to find on social media, or I'm Jodie Potter. So yeah, follow me.
And I'm Lee Chamberlain, and this has been an absolute pleasure to spend some time with you both. And we'll be keeping an eye on this. If you like Black Mirror, make sure you check into Asmodeus, which will be out very soon. Thank you for your time, guys. Keep in touch.
Thank you.
Bye. Keep connecting circles.
We are the songbirds and we're family. Let's all shut together happily, and we all sing our songs.